I often wonder, how much reading could I get done in a day's work? And today, we're gonna find out. You, me, this TBR, Buckley chewing on his bone. It is about to be 9 a.m. and we're gonna go for it. And we're gonna see how much of the TBR I can knock out and how much reading happens in 8 hours. I'm gonna give myself a lunch break, and then obviously I'm gonna take a couple of breaks to film things, but for the most part, a workday of reading. We're starting out with the Marvels 4 issues. I think this will take me about an hour. Let's find out. It's 11:03 now. It took me 2 hours to finish the 4 issues of the Marvels, have a little bit of cereal, start Heartstopper, but I'm in it now and we're gonna read outside because reading in bed is too tough in the mornings. I should have known that I was setting myself up for failure, but I just kept like dozing off and then I'd be like, oh, I gotta turn the page. And it took me so freaking long to read those single issues. So now we're outside. It's time to read Absolute Wonder Woman. This is my first Absolute book. I decided to go for the trades for these and figured that picking up one of the ongoing ones would be great because as I have to wait for new stuff to come out, I can read some of the ones that aren't ongoing. Like, I'm really excited to pick up Absolute Martian Manhunter, but we're gonna start with Absolute Wonder Woman. We're gonna see if I get hooked. I have a feeling that I will. Pleasure to meet you, Steve. I'm Cersei. This is my daughter, Diana. Welcome to hell. Fortunately for you, you landed on the Wild Isle, which, thanks to Diana and myself, is the safest place to be, if you have to be in hell. Okay, so I have like a huge stack of trades and then a couple of different stacks of singles, and I've got to pick my next trade. I'm not quite sure what I want. I've got a Lime Liquid Death and some Spicy Watermelon. So I've got a great snack. Let's go through our options. We've got Extremity, that Texas Blood, Day Tripper, the Fade Out, Sex Criminals, The Thing, King of Yancey Street, and Silk, Threats and Menaces. These are genuinely all phenomenal trade options, and I'm nervous to pick really any of them because they will feed me into being excited about series that I don't have more of right now. So I think that kind of narrows my options down to Day Tripper, The Thing, and Silk. And I think that while I have my snack, I don't want to read Day Tripper because that is brutal. So we're gonna go for The Thing, because I actually read Fantastic Four 1, 2, 3, 4 the other night before bed, and I did really enjoy it. So it kind of has me wanting more of Ben Grimm specifically after that one. And then I guess here are my stack of single issues. I've got an Older Thing series, and I've got that Unkindness of Raven series that I picked up in a vlog a few weeks ago. And then I've got this whole stack of like self-contained number ones or starts to series. I've also been working my way through Kamala Harris's The Truths We Hold each night before bed. I've got like about 100 pages left. I don't know if I realistically would be able to finish that. It's 12:38 right now. So that is also on the table as like an option. I loved Absolute Wonder Woman. Like, I'm gonna for sure need more of that. And I get what people are saying when she's like so extraordinarily diplomatic, but she's smart and she's well spoken and she's empathetic, and like you can see all of those things in like any of the grand statements she makes, but also just in the way she talks to people normally, and I think that's really cool. I think one of my favorite pages was when she's like casting a spell on a roof in the city that she's trying to save, and she's telling the news guys why they shouldn't film her doing that and like how to proceed with the message for the city. And I was like, that scene was gold. It was so good. It's about 2 p.m. Buck and I have made a little bit of a nest in this guest bed, and I've read a little bit more of my Kamala Harris book, and then I just keep getting too comfortable and I'm like sleepy. So I'm going to pick up some single issues again. We've got Detective Comics 1025 and 1026 here. This is allegedly like a standalone story within these two, so let's knock them off the TBR. It's like 2:20 and I'm gonna go for Extremity by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. Obviously, I hope that I enjoy this as much as I love Duo Powerbomb, and if I enjoy this volume, then there's only one more left and I'll be halfway through the series, which is kind of cool. This is also like a $17 trade, and I found it for like $14 at a used bookstore in Canada, so I saved like actually more than $5 on this. But the thing that's like more shocking than that is that this was used for sale. I feel like I never even see this like new for sale. It's hard to track down. Everything is that hardcover version. It's about 3:15. I finished Extremity and then I made myself a sandwich. I did really enjoy this. Like, the family dynamic, the art, the visuals throughout the entire volume are stunning, from the coloring and the art to the paneling and the lettering and all of the effects. But what's crazy is, yeah, it ends on like an insane cliffhanger and you are urged to go pick up volume 2. But at the same time, I think I could be temporarily satisfied with a reread of this. Like, I finished this and I was like, okay, let me go back. Now that I know the characters, or feel like I know the characters, let me go back and let me see what they're like from the start. You know? Does that ever happen to you? I think what I'm gonna pick up next is this 5-issue run of An Unkindness of Ravens, because sitting at the desk is like a perfect way to read a stack of issues. But I think one thing I want to do first while I'm on my lunch break is I want to open a pack of WNBA cards. These have been my current new interest. There's 4 cards in a pack. I've got like 60 or so of the 100 cards in a like standard run. I'm looking for a lot of my favorite players still, so we keep pulling until we get them. NECA, I'm looking for Storm players, so I'm stoked to have that. I think the green is like phenomenal. Ooh, we have something really good. Okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, so we'll pull from the back because it's like another base one. Oh, Sabrina. I don't have her either. Okay, so NECA and Sabrina, those are huge wins. And then it looks like we have 2 premier level cards. Oh my gosh, another Storm player. If I'm being honest, I didn't know she was even in here. So we'll take Mule. And then this isn't going to be Storm. I think it's going to be... Who's blue and yellow? Is it going to be Sparks? We got Angel Reese on a premier level. And it's Prism. It's like a rainbow effect. This was a phenomenal pack. Okay, this is almost a complete page now. And then 80. When the cards next to them are sleeved up, you have to take them out to be able to put these ones back in, which is kind of silly. And then these ones aren't going to go in the binder because I'm not putting premiere levels. I'm just putting concourse and inserts in my binder. So it's 4 p.m. I'm on to my final issue of An Unkindness of Ravens, and then after that, we're in the home stretch of an 8-hour reading day. We've got 50 minutes left, and I'm gonna pick up the Bug Wars Spider Witch special. This has been sitting on my TBR since it came out because it's on my pull list. I'd really enjoyed Bug Wars as it was coming out, but when we got to the end of the first arc and it kind of just turned out to have mostly been learning about the world, and I don't feel like our characters really went where I wanted to. I wasn't connecting with them. I was like, I think that I'm reading this because of how popular it is at this point, not because of my level of interest. I do still stand by that I think the thing that is so amazing about this series is the world and like how deep you go into it. And does this have an example of it? Maybe not, maybe. Yeah, like the journal type entries that teach you more about the world and the characters are really cool that are in each issue. So we're gonna read this special and hopefully that will help me decide if I want to continue picking Bug Wars up when it resumes. As much as I want to still love this, I love the concept of it, but I just can't get behind the story. Like, I'm not into the characters, I'm not into the depth of the world. I like the idea of it, I like the concept, I love the house and the yard and the people and, you know, the like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids element, but I'm just not into the really deep fantasy that it has become. And now I know. So finally this big guy is off my TBR, and I also don't have to sweat about making a decision when book 2 starts to come out. I've got 30 minutes left, so I'm gonna just read another big one that's been on my TBR. This, I want to say 2016, I could be wrong on the year though, issue of DC Pride, because it looks great. And like I said, it's kind of bigger, so it's been on my TBR for a minute. But yeah, one more book. Eight hours of essentially straight reading gets me 30 pages of my current regular book. 1 graphic novel, 13 single issue comics, and 3 trades, which knocks my TBR pile down to being 5 trades and 7 singles, and I'd say that's pretty good. Typically, I only read for like hour, maybe an hour and a half each day, so it was so great to set aside a significantly larger chunk of time and just read for myself, by myself. I loved it. I can't tell you the last time I was able to just commit that much time, because it is all about like intention and choice and planning. So I highly recommend that you do this too. Assess your TBR pile, look at your schedule, and block some time off for yourself. It kind of created a similar feeling to a different type of reading that I love, which is staying up way past my bedtime and reading until I look at an hour on the clock and I feel like I might be the only person reading in a 1 mile radius, a 3 mile radius, a 5 mile radius, whatever, as the night gets further and further along. Feels like you're the only person in the world reading, and I kind of accomplished that today. I felt like I had really carved out like special time to read intentionally for myself, and I really had a blast. So thank you for hanging out. this has me thinking about possibly hosting or organizing a comic book readathon sometime in the future online, and I hope that you'll join me if I do so.